and welcome to today's Fridays in the Lab. As you all know, the Academy Awards are this weekend, and today we are going to talk about the 9 hiring lessons that we can learn from the Oscars Best Picture nominees. Let's begin with Argo. Ben Affleck directed and starred in this thriller that takes place in the 70s, and the entire movie is based off of risk. Here's a lesson from this nominee. Don't take risks with your new hires, and always order background checks and skills testings for your candidates, because you never know who you are hiring. On to Les Mis. In this classic musical turned movie last year, we see the main character, played by Hugh Jackman, make several poor choices that haunt him for the rest of his life. The same thing happens when you make a bad hire. You are constantly reminded of the choice you make in the hiring process, and when you add up all the interviewing, onboarding, and training costs, avoiding a bad hire is just a no-brainer. Let's go on to Lincoln. They didn't call him Honest Abe for nothing. Lincoln's words of wisdom can teach us all a little something about the power of the truth. Us hiring managers aren't always truthful when interviewing and hiring, and sometimes we avoid uncomfortable conversations when turning down candidates or make up a lie. Avoiding the truth when telling candidates they didn't get the position just won't do them any good. Instead, be honest about why you didn't hire them. It's the right thing to do. On to the Silver Linings Playbook. In this superstar movie about mental illness, football, and divorces, it's important to view this as a lesson of what not to talk about during the interview. In several blog posts that have become quite popular over the past few months, Hireology has listed several illegal interview questions that sometimes come up during the hiring process. Anything in the Silver Linings Playbook should be on that list as an illegal interview question. Zero Dark 30. You might be thinking to yourself, how in the world will she be able to relate a movie about bringing down the most wanted terrorists in the world to hiring? Well, get ready, because here goes. The movie is about finding and eliminating Osama bin Laden, and part of the strategy was making sure they were hunting the right person. You can look at hiring the same way. You are on a hunt for the right person to fill that job opening, and until you have a strategy or plan, you will continue to chase the wrong person. Beasts of the Southern Wild. An independent film with a wonderful message. Beasts of the Southern Wild is about a little girl with big shoes to fill. As a hiring manager for a small business, big company, or even a franchise, you are tasked with finding the right person to carry on your company's values and increase its profits. In the HR world, you have some pretty big shoes to fill. So take a word of advice from our movie's young heroine and conquer it head on. Life of Pi. When the main character's boat capsizes during this novel-turned-movie, he uses a handbook to build a lifeboat to keep him afloat. A lot of our customers and people we talk to tell us that they never have used any sort of guide or handbook to structure their hiring process. All jobs you are hiring for should have an interview guide, so you don't have to worry about your hiring managers or yourself sinking during that interview. Think of it as your lifesaver. You will always be prepared with a set of interview questions if you have it. Django Unchained. In this brutally magnificent portrayal of a slave-turned-bounty hunter during the Civil War, there are plenty of lessons to be learned, but we will leave you just one thing. Hiring interns is a great idea. What's not such a good idea is hiring unpaid interns and slaving them harder than your salaried employees. The U.S. abolished that kind of behavior in 1865. Lastly, Amour. If you've seen this foreign film, I give you major props. However, this is one of the Best Picture nominees I didn't get a chance to watch. But I can tell you one thing. Amour means love in French, and I think it's a good hiring lesson if we can take away from the title that you should absolutely 100% fall in love with your hiring process. Do you think I'm crazy? Probably. But if your current process stresses you out, it's probably time to organize and streamline it inside your company. Imagine loving your hiring process and never again dreading an interview. Now that's love. Au revoir. That's all for today's Fridays in the Lab. Make sure you catch all these flicks before the Oscar winners are announced this Sunday. And as always, check our blog for more hiring tips and advice. We'll see you next week.